Our story begins in a cold winter where one little girl stands alone in the cold, barefoot and with hardly any clothes on, with only one bowl of dolls beside her. The girl can't understand why today sales are not going at all, and she looks at the doll, but suddenly an elderly woman approached her and told the cute girl that it is very cold outside and told her to go home quickly, asking her where her parents are. All this time the girl was looking down, and the moment she opened her unusual but at the same time beautiful eyes, the woman was horrified and immediately started screaming, saying that this girl had red eyes. With her screams, this woman drew the attention of other passers-by, and everyone began to look at the harmless and helpless girl, and everyone was surprised that her eyes were really red. They said that this color was a curse. Everyone began to say that for some reason, they had an unpleasant feeling around her. But the girl was very sad, and almost with tears in her eyes could not understand why everyone treated her like that. After a while, a little girl was sitting barefoot on a bench, and she thought she was very cold and was holding her doll in her hands, when suddenly she noticed someone and her look changed immediately. Suddenly a man appeared next to the girl and greeted the girl and asked her if they had met here today, and it seems that the girl was very much surprised and at the same time pleased at the sight of this man. The girl was glad that the man had come again, but he told the girl that he didn't think he could see her again so soon, and asked her if she didn't have the money he had paid for the toy last time. The girl said it wasn't that at all, but that things weren't going well at home. And that's when the man noticed that the girl was sitting barefoot, and her feet were freezing. But in fact, the girl was freezing because she wasn't dressed very well. The man tells the girl that surely her parents could at least buy clothes or shoes, to which the girl seemed about to reply something, but remembered the moment she brought the gold home to her parents. Her parents asked if it was gold and if she had stolen it, but that harmless girl said she had not stolen anything, but a gentleman had bought a toy for a lot, and her parents seemed surprised that someone had bought a toy for gold. And the girl's father asked the girl if the one who had bought the toy was an aristocrat. The girl said she didn't know anything, and a little stammering asked her father if he could buy her shoes because it was very cold outside, to which her father shouted at the girl and asked her how they could have such money, and sent the girl outside to earn money. The man punched his daughter, and the girl fell to the floor, and he furiously told her to thank him for not throwing her out on the street because she's cursed, and he says she ruined his mood. At this point, the girl's mother intervened and told her husband to stop, for she was afraid that he too would be cursed. But the girl's father asked how this girl could be born with such red eyes, and yet says that she takes away his luck every time. We are back again on the bench in the cold, where that girl, looking down at the floor and with a sad look, continues her thoughts, and says that her parents said they would buy her clothes later. The man standing next to her showed concern for the girl and asked her if she had eaten, to which she was confused and blushed, then sadly looked away and did not answer the man's question. That man asked the girl if she had now brought another toy to sell, to which the girl replied that she had indeed, whereupon the man told the girl that he would buy that toy and handed the girl a bag of gold. The girl opened that bag and saw there was a lot of gold and said that it was too much, but the man told this little heroine that she could take everything, but the girl took only one coin and all the rest returned to the man. He looked at the girl in surprise, for in his opinion she was a very kind and conscientious girl. The little heroine took only one coin and said that it would be enough for her, because she said that even with one coin she would still have money left, and at the same time she handed the bag to the man to return the rest. This kind man didn't take the gold back and got up from the bench and told the girl to buy warm food and clothes and shoes, and told the girl he was going. The little heroine was very sad, because she thought she would be alone again, and she didn't want to be alone. But then she lowered her gaze and remembered that everyone hated her. After a few seconds, the man stopped and started to say something, and the girl looked at him almost with tears in her eyes, after which he asked the girl if she wanted to go with him and held out his hand to the girl. The little heroine was silent for a few seconds, and then said that she was not a good child, for everyone says that red eyes are terrible and that they bring bad luck, and said that even if she went, she would still be of no use. The man looked at the girl and told her that he was not forcing her because it was only her choice, but he said that he was not bothered by her red eyes, and therefore she did not need to try to hide them. And hearing these words, the girl with tears and hope in her eyes looked directly into the eyes of the man, and standing up ran to him and grabbed his hand. It seems from that moment on, it's been quite a while, and we find ourselves in some big mansion, where our heroine is running down the hall, and a servant asked her if she slept well. Now we learn that our heroine's name is Flitzia, and she tells the assistant that everything is fine, and addresses her by the name Della, while wishing the assistant good morning. Della tells Lady Flitzia that it's a little dangerous to run down the hallway like that, but our heroine asks the assistant where the Duke is, and wonders if he's still in his room. Della tells the lady that the gentleman is still asleep, to which our heroine becomes indignant, and asks if he is still asleep, while saying that he always wakes up so late. Our heroine turns around and says that she will go and wake him up herself. But the servants remained perplexed, and said to themselves that they hoped nothing would happen if the lady woke up the master. Flitzia reached the Duke's room and began to knock on the door, and noticing that he did not answer, she opened the door and said that she was entering the room, whereupon she approached the Duke's bed and began to admire him. Our heroine blushed and looked at him sweetly, while saying that finally tomorrow she will definitely be able to tell him something. But for now it remains only a mystery to us. The guy finally opened his eyes and saw a girl in front of him and called her name. But he calls our heroine Lizzie, and the girl happily said that she was just about to wake him up. The girl said that they were to go to the village today, and she was already fully prepared for the trip, and was waiting only for him. But at that moment a servant came into the room and asked the gentleman if he had slept well, and if they should get ready to leave, to which the lad gave his consent. The man began to pack, but the girl stood by his side, and at that moment the Duke told Lizzie that she could go down first, to which the girl said that he must come as soon as possible, and it seemed that the girl could not wait for their departure. Our heroes are already in the carriage on their way, and the guy asks our heroine if she thinks she wants to get for her birthday, and our heroine seems to have forgotten about it, but the guy says it's tomorrow. Lizzie says it's all right and a walk in the village will be enough for her. But he was surprised and told her that if she wanted to go, she should have told her right away, because then they would have been there a long time ago. Our heroine blushed a little and said that not that she wanted to go to the village, but she just liked to travel with him. But the man smiled and asked her why, but the girl said she would tell him tomorrow. The Duke rests his head on his hand and asks Lizzie if she shouldn't ask for something grand, for as he says she will be of age from tomorrow. But then he says that apparently it doesn't matter to the girl. Our heroes have already reached that very village, and the guy opened the door of our heroine, gave her his hand to get out of the carriage, and seeing this the girl smiled sweetly, but it seems she blushed. Holding each other's hands, the guy asked Lizzie if they could already go to look around the square, to which the girl gave her consent, and they reached a shop with jewelry, and the girl admired them greatly. A guy gave a girl a teddy bear, and asked her how he was on that the girl was happy as a child, and said that this bear is very cute, and she admired him very much. Our heroes were walking down the street, and the Duke asked Lizzie if she didn't need anything else, and if it was enough for her. The girl wanted to say something, but she stammered a little, and then she said that she wanted to do something more than just get a present. Our hero asked Lizzie what exactly she meant, to which the girl said that she wanted to call him by his name, and began to say that tomorrow she will be an adult, but she did not express her thought to the end. The Duke tells our heroine that he used to suggest her to address him on you and by his name, but she said that she was uncomfortable, and asks Lizzie what has changed since then, to which the girl embarrassedly said that she will also tell about it tomorrow. The guy said that again she says that tomorrow, but still he agrees with her, and say that she can address him as convenient. And at this point the girl looked at him embarrassed, and thought that tomorrow she could confess her feelings to him. And then we learn that our hero's name is Ben, and that Lizzie has long been in love with him. It's nighttime, and we're back at Ben's mansion, and the girl tells her assistants that they're already back. And at this point, Ben tells Lizzie to leave the luggage at Noah's. Noah tells the lady that he will take the luggage to her room, and the girl Mila thanks him. And Ben at that moment tells Lizzie that she must be tired. She better go rest in her room. But our heroine says that she is not sleepy yet. Noah and Della stood in front of our heroes, and Noah said that tomorrow there will be a birthday party, and that's why it's better to go to bed early. But then Ben says that the forest that surrounds the mansion can turn into a scary place at night, and so they should stay in the mansion. Lizzie was already in her room, and she was standing next to the window, and apparently she was thinking, she thinks she can't sleep anyway, because her heart is beating very hard at the thought of what she will do tomorrow. Our heroine looked out the window and noticed Noah and Della, who came out of the mansion and were going somewhere. The girl asked herself where they could go at this time. But after a few seconds, she saw Ben coming out of the mansion. Our heroine could not understand where they were all going, but suddenly she thought that they are already beginning to prepare for tomorrow's party. And because of her curiosity, the girl went out after them and began to approach the forest. Lizzie said that she very thoughtlessly went after them, but she does not even know where they went. And now, because of Ben's words, she gets scared in the forest. But at one point, the girl heard a human voice and rejoiced very much, because she thought that after all, she found them. And at that moment, she was horrified, for she saw Ben bloody and some other dead people, while Noah and Della stood beside him and just looked at everything. We go back in time to the day Ben brought our heroine to the mansion and told her to say hello to Noah and Della, and that she could always call them if she needed anything. Our heroine was very shy and afraid at the same time, but then she said hello to them and introduced herself as Flitzia. And at that moment, Ben tells his assistants that from now on, this girl will live with them, and tells them to look after her to make her comfortable. Ben asked her if she would not eat or if she did not like it, and the girl told him with trembling hands that she had not worked yet, so she could not eat. After saying that, the man asked the girl if she knew where they were, and she told her that this was the Duchy of Rode, and there was everything she needed. And that's why she didn't have to work, because no one would tell her to quit for not working. And that's why he told her she could do whatever she wanted here. At that moment, the little Flitzia thought that this man was indeed an aristocrat, and thanked the Duke, saying that if there was any need for help, she would always help. But the boy said his name was Ben Rode, and she could speak to him on a first-name basis. Our heroine prosnosnos nova, and it turns out it was just a dream. But getting into bed, the girl noticed that she has a very bad headache, and noticed that she has a bandage on her arm. After what she saw, the girl thought she had hurt herself, but she couldn't figure out when, and after a few seconds she remembered what had happened last night, and how she had seen Ben bloody in the woods. When the girl came to herself, she realized that people were definitely dying there, and Ben had done it to them. And at that moment, she became very sad, and could not understand what she should do, and even thought that she should run away from the house. Lizzie tried to make excuses for Ben, and even thought that maybe someone pretended to be Ben and acted like that. And then she remembered that he also had red eyes. Our heroine was horrified, and said to herself that usually kill on eyes of a different color, and she remembered that people always said that red eyes are a sign of a monster, and she came to think that it could be a completely different person. Lizzie went to the doorknob, and was about to open the door, but she couldn't figure out where Ben was now, and opening the door, thinking she needed to meet him, she immediately saw Ben in front of her. At that moment, the girl thought that she was losing the earth from under her feet, and she was very much frightened, and thought that she had to say something, but she could not utter a word. The guy noticed that our heroine was trembling, and told her that he would come in, but the girl still froze. And then the guy sat down on the couch, and asked Lizzie how her arm, because he said that yesterday she fainted and fell and hurt herself. The girl was trembling a lot and couldn't say anything, but the guy asked her if she didn't want to ask him anything, because he said he thought she was interested in a lot of things now. In her head, she denied everything and convinced herself that he was not a monster, because she said it was Ben, the same man she had known since childhood. It turns out Ben Rode is a young duke and master of a large territory who saved Fleesia 10 years ago, and he is also Fleesia's first love. The girl came to her senses and asked Ben if he did it, and all those people were unconscious because of him, to which the guy did not deny and said that everything is true, but she does not need to be afraid of anything, because he will not do anything to her. The girl doesn't understand and asks him why he did it and why he did it to those people, to which the guy kept silent for a while and then said he was a vampire. It seems that this statement surprised our heroine very much, and she questioned the guy to make sure that she heard everything correctly. And in response, she heard the confirmation again. The guy asks our heroine if she has never once thought that this is strange, and tells Lisi that she came to this manor 10 years ago and that she has grown a lot in that time, while he has not changed at all. Our heroine thought about it and in her head said that she didn't even know because as a child she didn't even look at him, and when she grew up she liked him, and she just thought he had a baby face. Ben tells the girl that as of today she is an adult, and therefore she can live on her own, because according to him, he was still going to make her independent once she became an adult. That surprised the girl a little. So she asked him what he meant, and he said he didn't think she wanted to live with a monster like that. So he left her a bag of gold. The lad got up from the couch and tells our heroine that she may take what she needs with her, and may leave the manor at any time, and at the same time told the girl that he would go. Our heroine seems to have tried to stop Ben, but he said that once she leaves, she can forget everything that happened in this house. But the girl again asked him to wait, but she failed to stop him. Ben said he wanted to throw her a birthday party, but it didn't work out and he wished her a happy birthday and apologized to her while slamming the door behind him. Lisi was alone in the room, a little thoughtful, while the guy had already distanced himself from the room to the girl. But at that moment the girl ran after him, and shouting his name asked him to wait. When she reached the guy, she grabbed hold of him, but it seemed she didn't have the strength to say anything. But she asked him to listen to her, and it seemed the guy was very surprised that the girl followed him. Our heroine says she's not going anywhere, but the guy was puzzled. The girl says that he brought her to this house, and he said that she can feel comfortable here, and so she's not going to leave this place. At first, Ben was speechless and did not know what to say to our heroine, and then he told Lisi that it seems to him that she did not understand what he was talking about. But even before finishing his sentence, our heroine stopped him and said that she understood everything perfectly. Lizzie says she realizes he's a vampire, and that the book said he needed blood to live, but the guy asks her why she's staying with him if she already knows everything. Lizzie turned her back to Ben and asked him if he really thought it would be dangerous for her to stay at the manor, to which the guy yelled that it wasn't, since he would never attack our heroine. Our heroine asks Ben if there will be no trouble if she stays at the mansion, and without hearing the trouble she turns away from him again and tells him that she will go to change and then come back. But Ben seems to be speechless. Ben was already in his office, and kept thinking that maybe the girl still hasn't realized what happened, because he thinks she's saying that everything is fine now. But then he's afraid that she'll realize everything is serious. Being in her thoughts, the girl went into his office asking if she could come in, to which he answered her that she could come in, and after our girl sat down, she thought to ask Ben something. Our heroine called Ben and asked him if he could answer honestly to what she asked, to which the guy confirmed that he would. But at that moment, the guy thought that he didn't want to hear about anything, because for so many years, he thought he was used to being considered a monster. The guy kept thinking, as suddenly Lisi asked him how old he is. But the guy was very much surprised to hear this question from the girl, to which the girl sure asks him again how old he is, and asks him if he doesn't think it's awkward for her to ask such a question too. At first, Ben didn't even know what to answer our heroine. But after a short pause, he started laughing and asked our heroine if in such a situation usually don't ask more terrible questions, and if it doesn't mean anything to her at all. Lizzie gets angry and yells at the guy not to laugh and to answer her question. She says he should just answer and that's it. But the guy says he doesn't know because he's forgotten how old he is. Our heroine says it's all a lie, but Ben says it's not a lie at all, because vampires and humans are different. Because thanks to blood, they don't age and can live forever, and don't even get sick, so they forget the usual age. Then after that, the girl asks Ben if Noah and Della are vampires too, because the girl says that last night they were together with Ben, to which the guy says it's true, because they both can't remember their age either, but Ben thinks they're about 400 years old, although it's probably 500. When she heard these figures, the girl was shocked, because she didn't expect it at all. And at that moment, the girl thought that looking at Ben's behavior, she could tell that he was much older than that, and that even if she admitted that she was in love with him, she would be just a little girl for him. At that moment, Ben came very close to Lisi, and looking the girl straight in the eyes, asked her what was going on with her. But the girl blushed for a few seconds and was confused. After this scene, the girl gathered herself, and asked Ben if he had built his mansion right in the middle of the woods to hide that he was a vampire, to which the guy replied that he really was. He says he can conduct Herculean business in writing, but if he confronts people directly, they may become suspicious because of his unchanging appearance. At that moment, the girl seemed to realize everything and thought that that was why there were only 2 servants in such a huge house, and that was Noah and Della, because she thought that he didn't want to get involved with the other people. Suddenly, the girl remembered something from her childhood, where Ben, reading a book with Lisi, asked little Lisi if she learned it yesterday, to which the girl said it read like morning. At that moment, Noah came into the room and told the gentleman that he had visitors, to which Ben sweetly stroked little Lizzie's head and told her that he would be back to her soon, and she should wait in the study and not come out. Ben left, and instead of him with Lizzie, remained Noah, and the girl asked him if someone came to them, to which he replied to the little girl that another aristocrat had arrived to them, and told the girl that she could not worry about it. We return again to Ben's office, where the girl tells him that she definitely remembers something, and tells him that indeed, in recent years, she has not seen anyone in the mansion, but reminds him that before someone visited the manor quite often. Ben's expression changed a little, but he couldn't answer the girl, so she said that if he didn't want to talk, he didn't have to answer. And at that moment she thought that it wasn't really that important. Ben gathered his strength and, clenching his hand into a fist, told our heroine that it was the Duke of Blainet, and he has a territory close to their mansion, and he asked Lizzie if she had seen the unconscious people yesterday. Ben says those people are criminals who are sent out of his duchy once a month, all because there are limits on the number of criminals in Ben's territory. At this point, the girl seemed to realize the situation a little, and asked Ben if this gentleman knew that Ben was a vampire, and if he was protecting his secret, to which no answer was given. But his silence said it all for him. Lizzie wanted to say something to Ben, but when she saw the look on his face, she thought she had said something wrong, and she thought she needed to change the subject. And laughing, she told Ben not to worry, because she was sure she wouldn't tell anyone about his secret. Ben seems a little confused as to what Lisi means, but the girl told him that she's on his side and he can trust her. But the guy asked the girl if she's really on his side, to which she replied that, of course she is. Lizzie says that she understands that he is a vampire, but according to her, he is still the Ben she knows, and so she says that she is not afraid of anything. But our hero thinks about the fact that he did not even think that he would hear these words from her. Our heroine is in the library, and having taken one book from the shelf, she said that there is no other information in this book either. She says that there is information about Duke Blainet, but nothing related to vampires. Apparently, this question did not leave our heroine in peace because she began to be interested in this topic, and at this point the girl thought that she just has to ask Ben, but it seems to her that he does not want to talk about it. Lizzie went into the study but didn't find him there, and thought he might be in his room, and then she went into the study and saw an envelope on the desk, and she immediately realized it was a letter, but noticed that Ben didn't even open it. At this moment, Ben appears, and takes the envelope from the girl's hands, saying that it need not be opened, for he says he was going to throw it away anyway. But the girl was surprised enough to have it behind her, and asked him when he had come. Ben apologizes to the girl for scaring her, but says the door was open and he went in. And at this point, the girl asks him why he should throw away the letter, and if the letter isn't for him. Ben says that's right, but inside the letter is just an invitation to a social event, and he says he's not going, so he doesn't see the point in opening it either, so he wants to throw it away. At that moment, Lisi remembered that she had never seen him at a social event, and thought that he really didn't have much to do with the world around him.